So I lost the internet, so I'm trying again. So just in case if you got cut off in the other video, we had just finished doing a twist laying on our back with legs going side to side. And now we're getting ready to get up and away from the floor. So if you'd like, you can go back and watch the first video because I posted that one too. And if not, just join me here. So, just work your way up to standing and kind of let yourself drop the toes out, sink your hips in, and just taking a bit of a Malasana, a bit of a squat. And like right now, my hips are like excruciating. So I'm coming up a little higher because my body's not happy about it. You can totally drop your hips down low. Those of you, and you know who you are, that are super hypermobile there, let yourself have to work for it just a little bit. And then just think of easing your way up enough so you're kind of like in a modified chair. And then hollow out the belly like you're doing cat's breath. And then pull the heart forward, tailbone back. And then coil up, chin in towards your chest. And then lengthen it back out. One more time, coil in, but this time roll all the way up to standing. Letting your arms reach up to the sky as you get there. And then just exhale. Take a pause, letting your hands come on into the heart. So here, if you'd like to have any intention for your practice, and honestly, I don't necessarily verbalize mine often, but I feel like there's two, and they're probably obvious if you've been following my posts at all lately, but sending some good energy to my mom, and her healing process and our process together. And also sending some energy out to my wonderful husband who's been really standing by Mom and I know also misses Tank as much as I do on our 13th anniversary of our gotcha date that would have been this week. And what you can't see right now is I'm looking at a picture of Tank and Dave, so that's kind of where that came from in my heart. So here as we come into movement together, let yourself be playful, let yourself move. If you get tired of doing what I'm doing, do your own thing, please. So here, just inhale, draw your arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you feel like you want to. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back towards a high plank and then lower down your right shin. Just open the left arm up to the sky. So you're like in a modified side plank. And then just exhale, let the left hand come down, the left shin come down. Open the right arm up to the sky. And we'll come back here. Don't worry about getting fancy. Let your right hand come on down, lower down both shins. Now, let your arms move forward, coming into puppy pose and Anahatasana. Then let yourself just slide forward, coming all the way down towards your belly. Now you can stay on your forearms or maybe take your arms wide and come to your fingertips and just let yourself kind of come in and out like a serpentine type of cobra, or some people call it a spontaneous cobra, sahaja, whatever feels good. And don't worry so much about all the alignment pieces. Just let your shoulders move in a way that feels interesting. And then when it feels right for you, let yourself lower down. Now, if you want to add the shoulder stretch, take your arms out. If you want to kind of keep it more subtle, keep your arms a little in, and I'm still going to use my hand to help me. Just roll your left toes behind you. And just giving yourself a chance to open up. And then come back to your belly, and then let your left arm stay down, right arm open up. And Amy, if you're watching, I see that you texted me, but I don't want to respond. And then come back down towards your belly. Now here, slide your hands under your shoulders. Push back like you're coming to child's pose. The hips can be as high or as low as you want to though. Just walk your arms over towards the right and really stretch through your left arm. So you might do a little push-pull action. And I would normally keep my head down. I'm just keeping it lifted so you can hear me. And then come on through the center and shift up and over towards the left or whatever direction you didn't just do. A little push-pull action with your hands might feel good. And then come on into the center. Either stay low, hips to heels, or you can come to stand on the shins. And don't be afraid to cushion your knees. Right hand to right hip. Let the left arm come on up to the sky, up and over. And then left hand comes around. Let that right arm circle around. And then let both hands come to your low back. And just go subtle for the moment. Just a little baby camel, little baby Ustrasana. Lift the chest. And then here when you're ready, exhale, let yourself sink down, hands to the earth, curl the toes under, downward facing dog. And I'm not sure how much of my shirt you can see at the moment, but this is Local Love. It's available at JW Graham and Yes Gallery. Julie BB, my boss, came up with the idea during quarantine last year, and purchases of these garments benefit the North Kingston Food Bank. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Press down into your left foot, right foot up to the sky. Bend the knee, open the hip. Any juicy bits that you like. Wiggling your hip, rolling it around, whatever feels right for you. And then just hook your right toes behind your left heel. Push down, get a little extra stretch to your calf. Now if you're feeling more casual, you might stay right there. If you want a little more fire, you might pull forward to a high plank. If you want more fire, just push up. Straight down, straight up. I haven't done a push-up in months. Come on back. That's terrible. Press into your right foot, take the left leg high. Bend the knee, open the hip. Circle it around. Get a little stretch. Oh my. And then hook your toes behind the right heel, reach back. Now I'm totally regretting this side. Pull forward or dreading this side. Either stay high. This is great for the core. Ooh, here we go. Or a push up. Letting both heels come to the mat. Then here, just start to casually tiptoe your feet towards your hands. Once you get here, separate your feet hips distance, give or take. Paragasana, standing on your hands. Just a little chance to stretch the wrists. Toes up towards the wrists, fingers towards the heels. You can bend your knees as much as your hamstrings need you to. Take a little shake out of your head. And then when you're ready, release the feet. Maybe hook your big toes. Here, pull the heart a little more forward. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, sink in. Press into the feet. Inhale up to the sky. Draw the arms up high. And then exhale. Let the hands come on in towards the heart. Diving back in a little more. So inhale, sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Now on the exhale, just step to plank. Now here, lower down the right shin. You could also come down to right forearm, which has been my preference lately. And then open the left arm to the sky, and your choice, either stay on the right shin, or you might lengthen both of your legs. I've been kind of digging, taking the top leg behind the bottom leg, and using that to open a little more to the sky. And just because that's the motion that I feel my body needs, but do what's good for you. Give it a breath. Now as you come to the center, you can totally just take a second to lower down. Or if you want, come around to your left forearm. Left shin high or low, right arm up and over. Maybe both legs go long. Maybe the right toes work behind you. And you can be on straight arms, straight legs. Like if you know the variations, feel free to do what you're in the mood for. Inhale here and then exhale. Come back down to your belly. Now slide your forearms so they are underneath your shoulders for a moment. And think of not high, think forward. So we're trying to lengthen out the space between your ribs and your hips. And then lower down, you might have to let your elbows flare a little bit. You can move your hands a bit forward. Now when you lift up though, try to wrap the elbows in, shoulders press down, and then lift up. And I'm really squeezing my legs so my low back doesn't get tense. Now lower down, now two choices. More casual, bring your forearms to the mat, even if your hands are a little further forward. If you want more height, just because it feels good, which is why I'm doing it, slide your hands in, keep the elbows wrapped, and then lift your heart. Now here, I can tell you I'm really squeezing through my glutes, and I know that's one of those kind of debatable things in yoga, but for me, in my own body, it helps me not get into my low back. Your call. See what feels right for you. And then just exhale, sink it in. Take that right arm out to the side. Again, flip the palm if you'd like to, or keep the elbow bent, whatever feels better for you, and just roll those left toes behind. You can let your head drop down to the mat. And then come on through the center. Left arm can go long, flip the palm, right toes around. And you don't have to do the extra shoulder stretch. It can just be the toes kind of opening up to the sky. Come back down to your belly. Now here, slide up. Come up towards your shins, but this time stand up onto your shins or hips to heels, but more that you're on your shins. Take that left arm up and over. And you'll see there's a lot of side waist opening. There's a lot of heart opening. And more for me, because I do a lot of this these days, so I gotta get this going on. So now here, hands can come out in front of you, or maybe one hand to low belly, one hand to low back, and just lean back. And this is to help get into the core. Shiva Ray calls this Dandasana and Ustrasana, which is staff and camel. If you want to curl the toes under, it gives you a little bit more room to control the back and forth, but feet flat works just fine too. And then from there, let your hands kind of circle them around. Bring the hands to the low back, fingers can face up or down, and then just lift your chest for a moment. And then use your core to help you pull yourself back up, hands to the earth. If you need to, take a little wiggle, but then up and back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Down dog. Press into your left foot, take the right leg up to the sky. Step the right foot forward, coming into warrior one. So just take an inhale, let the arms sweep up. Now on the exhale, let your arms come behind you and just reach your fingertips back. Think of kind of lengthening your heart forward. Now, I'm planning to take flight coming into warrior three, but if you'd rather keep your left foot on the ground, totally do it. Hands might stay behind you. I'm going for heart. Some of you might even reach them forward. But come up on the ball of the left foot and just start to shift, and maybe you have to tap the toes to kind of get your balance, but bringing the weight into the right foot. Now we're going to come up into tree, so pull the left knee up and into your belly. Drawing the foot in, trying to land anywhere but on your actual knee. So toes might come down, they might come up higher. You can use your hands if you wish. Growing your tree tall if you're in the mood. And kind of letting yourself feel the feels going on in your right ankle, right foot. Trying to keep you steady. Try to relax your shoulders, and I said that because I just looked at myself. Then here, pull the left knee forward. Give it a little reach back, and now we're going to stay on the ball of the foot, so you're in more of a lunge. Right hand down, let the left arm come up. Start to lengthen up and out of your side waist a bit. And then come to the center, left hand down, right arm high. If you felt super wobbly here, coming down to the back knee would definitely help. Now bring your hands down, bring them to the earth or towards blocks. I have no idea why my blocks are so far behind me, but step your left foot in a little closer. And then coming in towards a runner stretch towards pyramid, or you could totally be doing this with your left shin on the floor. And just bear with me, I'm gonna grab my blocks because my ego isn't big enough to maybe not get them, because I know I need them. So coming in, and here you might play with pulling the heart forward, letting yourself sink in. And then keep your left hand down. Now we're going to come here a second time, so you can keep this first one super chill if you want, but maybe right hand to low back. If you want to start to open up the chest a little, go ahead, but if your body's screaming at you, don't do it, because we're going to come back again. And then let your right hand come on down. Walk your blocks or your hands a little bit further forward, shift forward. Just float the left leg for a moment. Now left leg is going to wrap behind the right knee, and then press it back up to the sky. Wrapping left leg behind the right, and you can squat as little or as much as you want and reach it up to the sky. One more time, wrapping it. See if you might get one hand, maybe both hands up, seeing if you can give yourself a moment to squeeze. And then hands or not, shoot the left leg back towards the lunge, lower down the right shin, pull back, and then half split, but it's more for a pause. Now here, shift forward, bend into the right knee, swing the left foot behind you, inhaling up into Paragasana, so it kind of looks like a knee down warrior two. Reverse it, letting the left hand come down to the mat or to the floor, to the block, whatever feels right. Right arm is long. And then bend into the right knee as you come back up, shifting so it looks like a side ankle. Now here, come back towards the center. So this can feel a little wonky in some people's backs, so if for any reason you're debating it, take this front knee and just put it on the ground so you're in a more traditional camel position. We're going to do the first one kind of subtle, so don't worry, it's not going to be too crazy. Right hand might come to the quad, let the left arm come up. Reach around like you're trying to come around to your low back, and then just extend the right arm up to the sky. So you're really just giving a hint of a back bend, and you might feel some stretch on the right inner thigh. If it feels like it's off at all on your back, try to just keep your chest really centered, and don't even lean back, just reach up. Then just exhale, let your hands come around and down. Lengthen out the left leg behind you, and then hands either on the blocks, on the ground, whatever you want. Right leg up to the sky. Now this time, pull the right knee into your belly. Try to cross the right ankle in front of your left thigh like a figure four. Press to down dog. Now here, you can stay where you are, or walk your hands back. Now, soften into your left knee a little bit, so it's more of a hip stretch. You can keep the leg straight, and that's going to be hamstring. Just make sure you're not hyperextending your knee. And then your call, either hands can stay low, or maybe they start to come to the heart, and maybe they had to. Maybe you couldn't reach the floor anymore. To see what happens. Now, you're going to try to keep the legs in this position, but if you need to, just unwind them to plank. It's not a big deal. Let your hands come down. Start to walk them forward. Oh, I'm going to so regret this. You can either stay up and just try to hover the knee, or, like before, and then push it all the way up and back. Oh my God. And then let both feet come to the earth. Left leg up to the sky. I'll tell you why that's so funny in a second. Let your left foot come on forward, 0-1. Other than the obvious reasons, but for my 50th birthday, which is last year, let your arms come back. I did 50 push-ups for 50 days, and then I decided to carry it through the whole year. And so I could bang them out, no problem. I can't do one. And then here, let your arms come on back. But see, that's what just showing, training, practice. If I want to do it again, I'll do it again. Right now, it's not that important to me. Shift up onto the ball of the right foot. Now, arms can fly, hands to heart, reach them forward. A little warrior 3. Finding a drishti, a gazing point. I'm actually looking at a picture of the lovely Megan Eddy. Yes, Megan, I have a picture. You have 2 pictures of you actually here from your TT projects from 10,000 years ago. And then come on up. Let your right leg come on into Vrikshasana, the tree. Toes can be high or low. Arms, a lot of times I keep my hands at the heart. Today I'm feeling the urge to get taller. Not sure why, I'm just going with it. Oop, losing my balance though. Give it another breath. Now when you're ready to unwind, just start to float that right leg back. Now we're going into a lunge, so you're on the ball of the foot instead, and then sink in. And if you need a second to kind of pull out the left leg, sink back in, go for it. Arms up. Left hand down, right arm high, little side waist opening. And this can throw off your balance, so if you feel like you need to ground down, go for it. Let your right hand come on down, let the left arm come on up. And then from here, you can let your hands both come on down. Probably shortening your stance a smidge, so you can come on in towards, again, Parsvottanasana, runner stretch, whatever name you happen to know it by. And the higher you can bring your heart here, and lengthen your tailbone behind, probably the more stable and stretchy you'll feel in your left hamstring. I mean, some of you I know can bring your chest weight down. I mean, I can bring my chest weight down, but I actually get more stability and stretch with my heart higher. Then this time with that twist, right hand down, left hand to low back, up to the sky. Like I said before, we will come here again, so don't feel like you have to go crazy. And then bring your hands down, just taking a moment to pause. You might just sink your head in. Now we're going to shift the weight forward enough just to lift the right leg to the sky, standing split. So take the right leg up. Wrap the right leg behind the left. You can squat as high or as low as you want. Take it back up. Sink it in. Take it back up. Sink it in. This time pause, give it a little squeeze. Maybe you try to balance and float your hands. And then just let the leg shoot on back. Right shin's coming down. Pull back just for a second to lengthen the left leg, just getting off the hip. And then sink in, swing the right foot behind you. So now you're inhaling here into Paragasana. And for those of you who might be going, oh, she went from closed to open. I didn't because it wasn't weight bearing. You might notice I did a little back in, then open. So just in case you're going to call me out. Squeeze that left arm up to the sky. You can open it up, Paragasana, sideways, delicious stretch. And then come on up and through, kind of like you're in that side angle shape. Drop it in, however high or low your hips are okay with. But try to keep the stability. Don't always sink into flexibility. That's actually where you might get into more trouble. Inhale, come up. So again, if this feels weird to anyone, take this left knee, just put it on the ground. This whole little open and closed thing can feel different in some people's bodies. Take the right arm up, sweep it around. Now, this might just be like a subtle beginning of opening the heart. Maybe you take the left arm up. Again, don't worry about what I say. Do what feels right for you. And then when you feel ready to inhale, come on up. You can circle the arms around to the front of the mat. Swing your right foot behind you, and then left leg up to the sky, down dog. If you feel the urge to move it around for a second, go ahead, but then left knee to the belly, crossing the left ankle in front of the right. Walk your hands back. Now you might need to bend your right knee, you might need to take your blocks with you, coming into that little figure 4 shape. You can keep your hands low, or start to bring them up. Lindsay Tajan, make your noise now. And drawing in. Now when you're ready from here, we're going out to the dreaded plank. So opening your hands back out. Now you might stay in the plank. This is a great hip opener just to try to keep floating the left knee, or one push up, left leg to the sky, and then casually, oh so casually, start to stroll your feet towards your hands. Take a little moment to take your knees along the wider side, squatting down, perhaps sitting on a block like Claudia and I used to do back in the day, giving yourself a moment to pause. A little back of the hands towards each other is a nice way to stretch your wrists. Take a deep breath. And then from here, we're going to come all the way up to standing. So you can use your hands on your thighs for a little more support, or try to give a little push and just draw yourself up. And then exhale the hands in towards the heart. So here, diving in a little bit deeper, might step your legs a smidge closer together. Inhale, draw the arms up high. On the exhale, forward fold. Soften your knees as much as you want. Exhale, step it on back. And again, either lowering the right shin and or right forearm. I'm doing right forearm, but lifting the right shin. And then open the left arm up. You can stack your legs. You can lift the left leg. You can use the left toes to help you push. Any variation you like and you know, go for it. Then come around if you want. Come right to the forearm. Pull the left knee into your belly. And then just shift to the other side. So either putting the left shin down or left leg long. Right arm reaches. You can float the top leg. Whatever you're feeling. And then when you're ready, come on down to your belly. Now, this one's going to be a little bit different, and my back will be to you for a moment, so your back will probably be to me. So just trust my cueing, or peek over your shoulder. So press into your hands. I'm not trying to lift, just hands are pressing down. Bend your left knee. Use your hands, and you might have to move your right hand forward to let your left toes roll to the mat, and then just sit all the way up. And then just take a twist over your left leg. So the other piece of the local love is that there's also shirts for the veterans, and that gives donation to Operation Stand Down. So there's a couple different clothing lines at JW Graham that if you want to buy something that looks great on you or is a great gift for somebody else, but then also does good for the community, you can always give me a private message and I can let you know how to if you don't already know. Now, as you come back and around, here's where things get crazy, okay? So press into your right foot, press into your right hand, pull that left knee up, and then you're gonna step it all the way up, and then come on into Warrior Two. What just happened? Why now? Reverse your warrior, climb up and back, and then come on up and over. Isn't it fun that I can still sequence? I'm totally making this up as I go. Now I'm gonna screw it up just for the record, but hopefully not. Let yourself sink in. Now one more time, pardon me, reverse your warrior. Climb up and out of your waist. Get big, 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 big. Now pull your left hip back, and then regular triangle, Trikonasana. So letting your left hand come down, the right arm might stretch long. Now I know some of you might be thinking I forgot the reverse. I didn't. Just give me a moment. Now here, possible transition is going to be back to Warrior Two. Also a transition is to bring your right hand down, spin your right heel, either holding or not the left toe, and then open up to side plank. Now don't worry if you don't do the side plank, because you're coming back to Warrior Two anyway. Then here, bring that left foot back up if you did lift, spin your right heel, Virabhadrasana 2, and then hands to the mat, lower the right shin, pull back, just lengthen your left leg for a moment. Now, this is strictly if you want to add a little core just because you're here and you're like, why not? If you're not in the mood, don't. Just stay here. First, pull your heel back. So you're trying to engage your belly, and then see if you can pick up the left leg. Now, if your leg's way out there and you're trying to pick it up, you probably won't be able to do that without using your quadricep. If you pull it, suck it in, and then pick it up, it's more your core. Now, just press in towards your left knee. Take a moment, just bring your hands on the inside. You might bend the right knee, just taking a moment. You can't see my foot because my body's blocking it, but it is bent. And then let the right foot come down, but now kick it behind you, coming into that Paragasana shape. Now here, right hand to go back, left arm up high. Please remember, any weirdness, bring both shins down. Now, if you want, you might start to reach your right hand back. Now, notice how my chest is turning. You want to try to square it off. So that might mean the difference of not going as low and just opening it up. And then inhale, come on up. I'm gonna be so sore. Inhale, reach. I don't think I've done any of these poses since like March. And then exhale your hands down to the mat, except for warrior two. Swing your right leg back. Now here, just slide your left shin back. Come on forward, coming into puppy pose. Camel, that's not camel, puppy. And then slide forward to your belly. And just take a second, maybe that crocodile shape. A little wiggle out of your hips. Whatever you're feeling. And then here, just release your feet down towards the mat. Don't worry if you don't remember what comes next, because I do. So from here, slide your hands under your shoulders. Probably not going too high at the moment, and your left hand might shift forward. It's a little easier on that shoulder. Right knee bends, right toes lift. And just let yourself press your body up so your foot's coming behind you. And then just use your hands to help you sit all the way up. And then just take a twist over your knee. If you needed to, you could let the knee drop open to tree, or you could even let yourself twist away from the leg if this feels yucky in your belly. And then come around. Now here, this is where we're going to step the right foot up to warrior two. You can totally help it with your hand if you want to, or just think about pressing your hips up. As you bring the right hand down, pull that right foot up. Use your hand, get it where you need it to go. Left heel comes down, and then warrior two. Take a moment to reverse, come up and out of your waist. And then come on up and over, sinking in. Come up and out of your waist. Now when you're ready to Trikonasana, so pull the right hip back, let the left heel kick behind you. I particularly like using blocks, letting the left arm float. Ooh, almost tipped over backwards, that was a close one. Gaze can be high or low. Low will help ground you, especially if you get a little spinny like I just did. Now again, you can totally hang out here, go to warrior two if you want. If you want to play with my little transition, left hand comes down. You don't have to hold the toe just helps with the connection, and draw up. You might even just pull the foot into your chest. You might be trying to open it up to the sky. I have a hole in my pants. I'm not stopping. Don't try to look, I'm wearing boy shorts, it doesn't matter. Come on into warrior two. Crack myself up. Then exhale, hands down to the mat. Lower your back shin. Just lengthen your right leg for a sec. And then bend back in. You can let your arms come to the inside. You might bend the back leg. Just have a moment to kind of open up the front of your quadricep. And then let your left foot come on down. So here's that gate shape. Come on in. Now we're not reversing and everything here. It's more of that camel shape. Right knee comes right down to the mat if you feel like it's a better choice. Left arm circles around. Now you might stop at your hip. I usually curl my back toes under to go for the heel, but then squaring off your chest. Right arm can reach. And then inhale, come on up. And then eventually exhale your hands down to the mat. Straighten out your back leg. And then just take a down dog moment. Reach the right leg up to the sky. Lower both of your feet down to the mat. And then here, lower down your shins. Walk your arms forward. Now here, lower down towards your belly. And then, and I'm sorry, I have to peek at my phone because it's my mom's PT, but I'm still going to talk to you. Bend the knees. Sure. Sorry, PT's coming early. Bend your knees, reach your arms back. Now, float your feet. Oh, Charlie horse. Okay. Float your feet carefully. Reach your fingertips back, but try not to touch your feet yet. Try to lift your chest up. Now, the sneaky little trick I've discovered over the years, if I push out with my stomach here, not like I'm just trying to like fart kind of push out your belly. Yes, I just said that. More like you're squeezing your belly together and then out at the same time. It's a kind of a deadlifting technique my friend Josh taught me, and it helps stabilize your low back. So then lift up the heart a little higher. Now maybe try to lift up the legs. That's going to fire up glutes, hamstrings. And then when you're ready, just exhale. Let them come on down. Let your hands come on down. Press back. Child's pose for a second, perhaps. And then come on up towards your shins. So we're going to do that little lean back thing again. This helps with the belly. Hands at low back and belly, if that helps you remember not to arch. It's not necessary if you feel comfortable without it. And then you might just lean back and then come forward. Lean back. It's just a subtle way to kind of activate your belly. I confess I have not been doing much abdominal work, which good or bad, indifferent, whatever it is. A lot of my core stabilization comes from maneuvering a wheelchair, a Hoyer lift, working through my mom. I've honestly been very cautious about doing anything that would make me too tired to take care of her properly. So, you know, as I have a little extra insulation on my six pack, as my friend Kristen likes to say, but still strong as hell underneath. Gotta keep it cold. So here, let your hands come around, maybe lift your heart. And then when you're ready, exhale, let your hands come on down. Now, I'm coming up onto my feet. You might choose down dog. I'm actually feeling I want to curl the toes under, and then just take a baby leap and come forward. I'm sitting on a block because my knees have been a little tender these days, and quite frankly, I can't afford for them to not be okay. So coming into Malasana, you can use your hands to get a little stretch of the wrists. And then we're coming up to standing, so you can use your hands to help you if you'd like, or just let yourself use your legs. Draw tall, sweep up. And then exhale, hands into the heart. I'm just going to turn sideways because you might see what I'm doing a little easier. Now, what I would recommend doing is not necessarily, sorry, I got a crick in my neck, not necessarily having your feet all the way together. Have a little space between your feet. Take your hands low back. Fingers can face up or down. And just think about not dumping back, not thrusting hips forward. Think of climbing up like you were trying to put your shoulders up onto a shelf. I don't know why you would do that, but just a vision. And then come back up, take an inhale. If you're like, okay, that was cool, you can take your fingers, or sometimes I'll use fists, and bring them right into your glutes. And they're your glutes, so don't be shy. And again, lift up, maybe a bit of a bend in the knees, look to the sky, but think of engaging through your legs. Quadriceps are important, squeeze the glutes are important, and then lift up. And if you're like, Debbie, what else? I'll tell you. You can start to slide your hands to the hamstrings. Now, usually here, instead of fingers up, I start to turn mine down, but you can bend the knees, lift up, whatever feels right. I'm feeling like in my own body, that's my limit right now. If you can drop back, or if you want to slide down towards your calves, feel free. You might even decide to do a little less, like me. It's up to you. And then lift your heart. And then just exhale. Slowly forward fold. So the counter pose for back bends is a forward bend, but go casual, because sometimes your body's not super excited about it. Step your feet back, coming into plank, and then lower yourself down towards your belly. Right hand is going to have to be out to the side a little bit, probably forearm down, just helps you push into it. Left hand has a little room. And then just let your left toes roll behind. Once again, rolling all the way up towards the seat. Now, take a little twist over the left knee. I'm only looking to see if I go off camera. Now here, in case you can't see me, it's a pose you've already done. We're going to do Paragasana here. Lower down the left shin, lift your hips, and just lengthen out your side body. So just a way to get a little bit more space. Now, as you come around, we're stepping back into Warrior Two on the left foot. Please, if this is not a safe transition and comfortable in your body, just unroll, stand up, left foot Warrior Two. But letting yourself come around, maybe you start to play with lengthening and strengthening, and then kill a bug. I'm just kidding. Come on up to Warrior Two. Now, if you need a block for revolve triangle, you might have it and put it near your right foot, the back foot, because that's where we're going to do it. Take a moment to reverse your warrior. Come over to side angle. The only reason I have so many mirrors is this used to be the mirror in my mom's room, so that's why it's down here now. And then inhale, come on up. Now turn your left toes in, your right toes way out. Try to square your hips towards the back of the mat. Left hand comes down. And then here, you might have to adjust your left foot so you can lengthen the right leg. If you'd rather, keep it a more casual twist, or you might start to lift the right arm to the sky. Now here, if you're feeling very adventurous, right hand to right hip. Left hand might slide forward and then float the left leg, and then open the right arm. So coming into revolved half moon. Give it another breath. Let the left toes come down. Now from here, inhale, come on back. Coming back into the shape of Vira 2. Reverse the warrior. Now, we're going to come into half moon in case you want to block over here. So left hand can come down, right leg can lift. Now your call, you can keep it super cash, or maybe you're bending the back leg, you might pull the bow, you can keep your gaze high or low. And then just let your right toes come on back. Come on in, warrior two, just for a breath. Exhale the hands down, pull back, lengthen your left leg. Now here, let yourself sink in towards the left hip and then walk your hands up. So two different options. I'm gonna stick with the theme we were doing, but if you wanted to, you could also do the back bend here with the right arm coming around towards the right leg and then left arm to the sky. If you wanted to stick with what we've been doing, stick the right foot behind you, then the right arm up, and then bring it around. And you could use your block here. Try to open up the chest. You might even bring your hand behind the head. You know, just do what feels authentic in your own body. And then inhale, come on up. Let your hands come center. Now, if you're still facing forward, turn your right foot behind you. Let your left knee come on down. Paragasana, froggy pose. And not too long, just a couple breaths. And if you're wondering how much longer this is going to go on, I'm more or less going to finish up the other leg, only because I don't know how much longer mom's going to be okay without me, and I don't want to cut you guys short in the middle. But sorry, mom wins. Get another breath. Now you can come back up. Now a little fun transition if you want. Toes together, knees pop up. Make sure you know where your blocks are. You can either just straighten your legs or and you're in like a little straddle. And then just come around over your left leg. Press up and back. Downward facing dog. Left leg might float. Lower your left foot. Any transition to your belly. I do a casual kind of flop. Left elbow out to the side. Right hand's pressing. Use your right toes to roll behind you. And use your hands. Now, you can play here with kind of scooping it up. You know, don't be afraid to invent whatever feels nice. Come around. First, scoop my butt and my mat just so I don't end up in the bookshelf. Take a little twist towards the right. Totally hang out here if you'd rather, or let the right knee come down. Press into your left foot. Lift the hips. And then as you come back and around, now, you can just kind of come around. Just think warrior two on the right leg. If you're feeling like you want to get a little funky, float it, lift it, use it. Right foot forward, warrior two. Reverse your warrior. Little side angle moment. Now again, we're going to be coming over the back foot. So if you want to block for the triangle, bring it to your left foot. Start to inhale up. Turn your left toes all the way out. Right hip all the way in. And you probably need to adjust your feet. And then eventually, left leg will lengthen. Right hand down, left arm to the sky is a little bit bigger, or overhead. Low back can feel really nice. I'm not too worried about you keeping your hips level. Let them move. Now you can either stay, or if you want, soften into the left knee. Right hand's moving forward as you float the right leg. Opening the chest open a bit bigger, coming into revolved half moon. Looking at my big butt in the mirror. And then let yourself come back and around. Now we're coming back to warrior two, but over the right foot. So notice I'm going open to close, close to open, but over the opposite legs. Just remember that sequencing, people. Now from here, half moon. Sliding the right hand out in front of you. Block, whatever. Left leg, reaching back. Left ankle. Open your heart, pull the bow. Just do what feels delicious. And DD loves this pose. And then unwind, Vera 2, just for a heartbeat. And then exhale, hands down. Pull back, lengthen the right leg. This is just a pause. And then as you sink back in, like I mentioned the last time, you can stay this way for the lunge. Left arm back, right arm up. But going in the vein of what we were doing previously, left foot can come behind. And it's a little bit more of an asymmetrical. So just be careful it feels okay in your back. Left arm can circle around, reaching to the ankle, the heel, the block. Right arm lifts. I'm trying to square my chest to the ceiling as much as I can. Reach back. And then when you're ready, inhale. Come on up. Now here, hands to the earth. Right shin comes down. And then shifting into frog. And then I'm just going to turn so I'm talking to you. So from here, You could hang out in frog. You can go into pigeon. You are prepped for deeper back bends or forearm stands or things of that nature if you're in the mood. I apologize to cut it short, but as I mentioned, I want to go make sure mom is doing okay. I do have my mommy monitor off to the side here, but PT is coming in a little bit, and I want to make sure she has what she needs. So I love you all. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of movement. Okay, if you're in frog, release your feet, pop up. You can still do your transition if you want. Ta-da! I'm not encouraging you to skip Shavasana. I just have to skip Shavasana. So if nothing else, just unwind from your frog when you're ready. Lay on the floor, close your eyes. I did it! But I love you all, and I hope you have a great day. And thank you for watching whenever you might watch.